Economics Form 1, Lesson 10, Commodity. So, look at these items on the cover page. These are commodities. These are items that have been produced. The cow has been produced in a farm, and the computer has been produced in a laboratory for computers. So commodity, the end result of production is a commodity. Commodities satisfy a want. Commodities have utility, that is, they are useful. Commodities can be consumed. Commodities are scarce. Commodities are marketable. So these are all ways of describing commodities. They are marketable, they are scarce, they have utility. That is an aspect. So, and a commodity comes in the form of a good or a service. So it is scarce, it has utility, and it is marketable. That means that you are calling something that you can sell. So if you cannot sell a river, you cannot consider that river as a commodity. If you go to the river and you collect the river water and stand by the river side, nobody will buy it. So, but if you carry that same river water into an area where there is no water, where there is drought, that water becomes marketable. It becomes a commodity. So you understand, these things can be transformed. So commodities could be in the form of goods or services. Like if you look at this chair, this is a chair, it is a commodity. It is marketable, it has utility, it is marketable. And it is scarce. The chair is not all over the place for you to have. It could be a service. This is a mechanic. This man is enjoying the services of the mechanic. So we understand that this service is equally considered as a commodity. Now, let's look at the aspect of goods first, because we have talked about goods and we've talked about services. A good, here we have to identify two types of goods. Free goods, that is, these are free gifts of nature that have utility. They are free gifts of nature that have utility. If you look at rainwater, it has utility. You can use it for watering crops and for many things, but it is free. Natural trees in the forest, these are all free. Sands and stones. If you go to the hills in Dub, you'll find mushrooms all over the place. And they are very free to whoever is exploiting them directly, but they come at a cost to secondary users. For example, if you go to the Mungo River, the sand is there, it's free. Nobody has planted the sand, and you are not paying money to somebody for the sand. It is free. If you go there with your small head pan, you can scoop your own sand and take and use free of charge. But if it passes through, if it is exploited, not directly, but comes through a secondary person, that is where a price comes onto it, and it now becomes something else. It is no longer free. It has utility and everything, but it is no longer free. So I hope you've understood that difference between free goods and others. Okay, look at sand here. This is sand, these are stones. All these things now are free. They don't belong to anybody. This is in some desert. So this is in some desert and they are free. The sand in this picture and so on. But you can see the difference from the sand. If you came, if your father is constructing a house and a truck, a 20-ton truck brings one and dumps there, nobody can come and touch it. That sand is no longer free. The sand has come at a price. The sand is a commodity. It is no longer a free gift. So you understand the difference. So when you see sand that your father has kept for construction, don't waste it, because it is now a commodity. It is not free. If you go to the seashore, to Seme Beach or wherever, where the sea sand is there, you can play with it as you like. That one is free. So these are the differences between the free goods and so on. So if we have looked at free goods, now we look at economic goods. Economic goods, these are goods that have a cost of production. They are scarce and are useful. That is, they have utility and they have a price. So in this case, we're describing items like machete, knife, shirt, phone, bananas, cement. These are all goods that have a price. But as I explained to you, some of the free goods become economic goods when they have a price. Like sand that your father has put by the house, which he did not go himself to the river to fetch. He paid maybe 200,000 francs, and a truck person brought a truckload of sand or stones. Those things have a price. They are scarce because he does not have enough of what he wants. They have utility because he will use them for his construction work. So they have all now become economic goods. So I hope that one has been picked up completely. They have all become economic goods. Now, we said that if we look at goods, we could consider them in two forms: producer goods and consumer goods. Producer goods and consumer goods. For producer goods, we are looking at raw materials, that is, say primary products, which are mostly used in the production process. So we have an example here. So they are used for the production of finished or more refined products. For example, we have sand, which is used in the construction process, iron rods, cement, palm oil, wool, hides, electric shaver, clippers. Now, you would see that out of the things that I have named, there is an electric shaver. An electric shaver is a finished product. It is not a primary product, it's a finished product. But then, this is what a service provider uses as a primary, as a producer good. That is the barber. He uses an electric shaver as a producer good and produces. He shaves you, gives you a service. I hope that one is quite clear. Now, if we look at consumer goods, what are they? These are normally what they call the finished goods. They are meant for consumption. That is, they are produced on them for consumption. Although, in the process of consumption, they might end up in the production of another good or service. Okay, like we take the case of the electric shaver. It's a good. It's also a consumer good. It has been produced as a finished product, and the barber takes it. In the process of consuming it, shaving with it, consuming it, he is doing work and carrying out a service. So that's why we're saying that some of these consumer goods, in the process of consuming them, create another product. As we said earlier, if we took flour, which is already a product from wheat, from the material wheat, and we use flour now to make bread, already we are transforming flour as a material and doing something else with it. So that is why they say you could have goods meant for consumption, but which could be exploited for production. And we have examples like sugar. Sugar, most of us look at it as something that we just consume, we put in our tea or in our coffee and drink directly. But some other person looks at sugar from another angle. This is one of the condiments, the raw material, the material that he puts in his making his cake or bread. So In the end, that is how he considers sugar. Unlike you and me, who simply look at sugar as something we put in our tea or coffee. So the same like we have aspect like the telephone. To me, my telephone is for my personal consumption. It's a consumer good. Then if my sister goes and opens a call box, that same telephone has now become a producer good because he's using it now for business. He's using that telephone to make money. I hope you are seeing the very different things there. Two people buy a car. When this car was being produced in Europe, they knew that it was to be consumed, that you buy it and use it with your family. And I buy a Toyota car, and I take my children to church, I go to work, I take my wife to the market, I'm using it in my family. It's a consumer good to me. But imagine that my brother goes and buys the same car and puts it as a taxi. So what does he do? He's using it to carry out a service, as to produce. So to him, that is a producer good. So these are the differences that we've been talking about in terms of consumer and producer goods. So let's look at our references. Just go into the economics, the beginner's companion, and I would advise you to go into Google. Just go into Google and check out the word commodity. Go into Google, check out the word commodity. You will find something interesting out there.